Hanging with a guru who you hang with rubs off on you. Chapter 1. Lifeguard Party at Sunset. The sun was making its slow dive into the Pacific, painting ribbons of orange and lavender across the sky. On the sand below, music played from a half-buried Bluetooth speaker while someone flipped skewers on a portable grill. This wasn't just a beach party, it was 20 years of lifeguards reuniting. Sun-faded shirts, salt-stiff ponytails, red solo cups, laughter. The kind of laughter that only comes from people who've pulled each other out of riptides, both literal and personal. Mason, barefoot near the fire pit, held his phone out on speaker. "You think he'll answer?" Jess asked, bouncing on her toes. Mason grinned. "Only one way to find out." He hit call. The screen flashed, "Guru, reeing, then click." A calm voice answered. "Yes, Guru," Mason said. "It's Mason. We're out here celebrating 20 years on the watch. Grill's hot. Waves are lazy. You wanna hang?" There was a pause, the kind that felt like the tide pulling back before a wave. Then, "Yes, the tide has brought the invitation in. I will arrive shortly." The line went dead. "What does that even mean?" someone asked. "Means he's coming," Mason said. About 45 minutes later, just as the sun sank below the horizon, a figure appeared at the far end of the beach, barefoot, robe flowing, a duct-taped beach ball tucked under one arm. The guru. No one knew exactly where he lived. Topanga Canyon. Behind a yoga studio? Didn't matter. When he showed up, things shifted. Calm followed him like weather. "Yo," someone called. The group turned. He walked up slowly. "Good people. It is an honor to join the protectors of the shore." Jess blinked. "You actually came." He nodded. "An invitation is like a wave. Ignored too long, and it passes forever." They made space for him at the fire. Mason handed him a drink. "We figured after saving lives all these years, we could use someone who saves minds." The guru didn't sip. He stared at the flames for a long moment. "Saving lives is noble," he said, "but saving your own spirit, that's the work few remember to do." The fire popped. The crew grew quiet. Jake, always sarcastic, broke the silence. "So, Guru, you ever a lifeguard?" The guru smiled. "Once. I kept a boy from drowning in anger, another from slipping into despair. The waters were different, but the current just as strong." Someone handed him a skewer. He turned it over slowly, like it meant something. "There is a rescue in every moment," he said. "A choice to reach or retreat. You choose reach. That makes you heroes even when no one's watching." Even Jake had no comeback. As the fire dimmed, the guru reached into a canvas pouch and pulled out a handful of smooth painted stones. One for each of the original lifeguards. Etched on them were simple words: focus, presence, breath, watch, return. "Place them where you see fit," he said. "On your tower, in your bag, or in your palm before you dive." Jess blinked. "I feel like more than just sunburned." They all laughed. Someone passed a donation envelope. He never asked, never counted, but always accepted. As he stood to leave, he looked out at the water. "You've guarded lives," he said. "Tonight, you've guarded each other's joy, and that, too, is a rescue." He picked up his beach ball and walked into the night. Mason shook his head. "Man's like a fortune cookie. In sandals." Jess smiled. "Yeah, but I feel different. Like I just tuned in." The fire cracked. The music played. And the party continued, slower now, deeper, like the beach itself had taken a breath. He came with a beach ball and left with their respect, a different kind of rescue. Chapter 2. The 100-year-old birthday. Honor thy roots, and you'll never drift. The celebration was held in the backyard of a modest stucco house on a quiet street that smelled of lemons and warm earth. Paper lanterns hung from string lights. Folding chairs lined the grass. A chocolate sheet cake rested under plastic wrap with a single word scrawled in blue icing. 100. It was Nana Rose's birthday. A century of stories, struggles, and surviving everything from the Great Depression to grocery store self-checkout. Her family, 4 generations deep, had gathered from all over to celebrate. Cousins played tag. Aunties argued about potato salad. Phones snapped pictures of a woman whose memory came and went, but whose smile had never faded. And then, around 3 o'clock, the guru arrived. No fanfare, just a gentle knock at the side gate and a gift bag shaped like a houseplant. He wore his usual, loose robe, sandals, and a peaceful look that didn't belong to this noisy world. No one remembered inviting him, but no one was surprised to see him either. "Nana Rose," he said, bowing slightly. "You are a lighthouse built before GPS. You remind the waves where they are. She smiled, reaching out a hand. You talk pretty, she said, voice scratchy but kind. He sat beside her on the old garden bench, listening more than speaking, asking quiet questions. She told him about washing clothes in the river, about the war, about losing her brother when he was only 19. My memory's patchy, she said at one point. The guru leaned in. Memories fade, roots don't. And you, dear Rose, are the root. Later, under the shade of the lemon tree, the guru found himself in conversation with Rose's daughter, her granddaughter, and even her great-grandson for generations in one picnic circle. What do you say to someone who raised you, when they don't always recognize your face anymore? Asked Marlene, the daughter, eyes tired but proud. The guru thought for a moment. Don't worry if they forget who you are, he said. Remember who they were. That's enough to keep the bond alive. Tai, the great-grandson 11, knees dirty, face curious, asked, How old are you, guru? He smiled. Old enough to know that age is just a number, and time is a teacher that whispers, not shouts. A moment passed. Then Tai said, You sound like my math teacher if she meditated. Everyone laughed. As the sun began to sink, the guru stood and addressed the family. Not like a speech, more like a blessing whispered loud enough for all to hear. We are born into circles of family, of time. The young want to run ahead. The old want to hold on. But if we walk together, we inherit both memory and hope. That is what it means to belong. He reached into his satchel and handed Nana Rose a small wind chime made from old silver spoons. For your porch, he said. So the wind will remember your voice. Nana Rose smiled again, this time a little wider. You're a strange man, she said. I've heard that before. As he left, the guru paused at the gate and turned back. Honor thy roots, and you'll never drift. Then he disappeared down the street, a quiet ripple through a busy day. And for a long while after he left, the chimes in Rose's lap rang gently in the breeze like time itself saying thank you. He shared a moment with a century and left the family remembering how time can feel timeless. Chapter 3. The Phone Launch. A phone connects people. But never forget, eye contact is the original app. Play as if it's the last time anyone will ever hear music. Then do it again tomorrow. The event was everything you'd expect from a major phone launch. Flashing lights, hype music, influencers angling for perfect angles, and 3 separate hashtags trending before the first presenter even hit the stage. Backstage, the green room buzzed with energy, stylists with hairspray, tech execs doing breathing exercises, and one rising pop star pacing in circles, earbuds in, mumbling her lyrics. This was her big break, a live performance streamed worldwide, synced with the release of the newest, smartest phone yet. The guru sat quietly in the corner. No one had invited him technically. He'd wandered in with the rehearsal crew that morning, sipping from a thermos and nodding politely to everyone. No one stopped him, maybe because he didn't look like someone who needed a badge. Or maybe because no one quite knew who had invited him. The pop star, Sora, glanced his way for the 5th time. You with marketing or security? He smiled. Neither. I'm here for the signal behind the signal. She blinked. Okay, definitely not PR. A few minutes before showtime, nerves hit her like a wave. She sat down near him, tugging at her jacket. I've done club gigs, stadium tours, even opened at festivals. But this, I don't know. It's like I can't hear my own voice in all the noise. The guru nodded. Noise is loud, but you are not the noise. She gave a nervous laugh. Are you always this mystical? Only when people stop pretending they're fine. She paused. Then, it's not the song I'm worried about. It's the spotlight, the eyes, everyone watching and recording and judging. The guru leaned closer. You do not perform for the camera. You perform for the person who forgot they could feel something. She looked down at her trembling hands. He added, play as if it's the last time anyone will ever hear music. Then do it again tomorrow. She didn't say anything for a while, then nodded slowly. Meanwhile, out on the main stage, the crowd erupted as the CEO of the tech company held up the new phone like it was a sacred artifact. It has the brightest display, the fastest chip, the smartest AI. And he added, a new soul mode that adapts to your emotions. Backstage, the guru raised an eyebrow. Even the machines want to feel now. Sora chuckled, her nerves starting to melt. The stage manager waved her over. 2 minutes. She stood, took a deep breath, and turned to the guru. Thanks. Seriously, you don't just calm people, you, bring gravity. He nodded. Most stages are only slippery if you forget to feel your feet. Her performance was electric, not because the lighting cues hit perfectly or the cameras found every angle, but because she meant every word. She didn't sing to the crowd. She sang for them. Some swayed, some cried. One stagehand whispered, she just tuned in. After the final chord, the applause rolled like a wave across the room and into the live stream. Backstage, the guru was already gathering his bag. Sora ran up, breathless. "You saw that?" He smiled. "I felt it." As he turned to leave, she called out, "Hey, what's your name?" He paused at the curtain. "Some call me Guru." "Right. Well, if you ever drop an album, I'll open for you." He laughed softly, disappearing into the hallway glow of 100 tiny screens, and for just a moment, the phone launch didn't feel like a product drop. It felt like music again. He spoke of presence, then walked off without a signal but left everyone more connected. Chapter 4. The Campaign Trail. Power is not given, it is borrowed from the people. The fundraiser was held in a glass-walled penthouse overlooking the Capitol. Strings of lights hung above rooftop terraces where donors sipped wine, made deals between bites of bruschetta, and dropped five-figure checks like they were tipping valet. The candidate, Senator Elena Cruz, stood near the bar, smile dialed in, shoulders tight beneath her tailored blazer. Her campaign manager whispered updates in her ear between handshakes. "Governor Chen just arrived. Big check potential. Media wants a quick comment after your speech. And don't forget to thank the family from Arizona, the camera guys already micked." Elena nodded mechanically. She was good at this. She had to be. Then she spotted someone unfamiliar across the terrace wearing sandals, a robe, and holding a glass of sparkling water like it was a sacred artifact. Do we know him?" she asked. Her aide squinted. "I think he came with the woman who runs the meditation retreat you visited last summer. He's dressed like a yoga mat." Still, something about him disarmed her. And in truth, she welcomed the interruption. She walked over. "Hi, Elena." "I know," the man said, smiling. "Everyone here knows, but not everyone remembers who you were before the title." She tilted her head. "You're the guru, right?" He nodded. She exhaled. "Okay then, tell me something helpful. I'm about to make the speech of my life. Cameras, donors, promises I'm not even sure I believe anymore." He sipped his water. "Then speak the one truth you still do." She hesitated. "Which is?" He looked around the room. "That you serve, not perform." 5 minutes later, Elena stood at the mic. City lights glittered behind her. The crowd quieted. Camera lights blinked red. She began the usual way. "Thanks, vision." A little applause line about clean energy. Then she paused, looked down at her notes, then put them aside. "You know," she said, "I came here tonight with a speech written by a dozen smart people. Words that tested well. But standing here, I realized I don't want to be someone who just seeks power. I want to be someone who remembers where it comes from." People shifted. "Listen closer. Power is not given," she said. "It's borrowed from you, and I'm here to earn the right to carry it." The applause came slowly, then built, unforced and real. Back near the bar, the guru simply nodded. Afterward, Elena found him sitting near a low planter of rosemary. "You knew I wouldn't give the scripted speech. I hoped." She sat beside him, heels off, rubbing her feet. "You ever run for office?" "No, I've run from it." She laughed. "Smart." They sat in silence for a while, the city buzzing below them. Then he said, "Leaders who serve are rare. Most chase the crown. Few remember the neck it rests on." She looked at him. "If I win, will you advise me?" "I already have." He stood to go. No handshake, just a parting glance at the city. "You have a voice. Use it to echo the people, not just yourself." Then he disappeared into the elevator, sandals soft against marble. Elena watched the numbers light up above the door as it descended. She didn't feel lighter or heavier, just clearer. He entered with humility, spoke to power, and left behind a silence full of thought. Chapter 5. New Beginnings. A baby hears the heartbeat first. Keep your steady. The baby shower was held in a warm living room filled with pastel balloons, gift bags, and the sugary scent of cupcakes. Friends balanced plates of fruit and crackers while passing around a scrapbook for guests to write advice for the parents-to-be. Natalie, 8 months pregnant and glowing more from exhaustion than joy, sat beside her partner Eli on the couch, trying to smile between waves of nervous energy. The nursery still wasn't finished. The crib hadn't arrived. Neither of them had slept through the night in a week, and the baby wasn't even here yet. Eli leaned over. "I think someone brought a pineapple?" Natalie nodded absent-mindedly, eyes fixed on the baby monitor still in its box. That's when the guru arrived, slipping through the front door like he'd been there the whole time. No one had invited him directly, but somehow he was listed on the guest sheet, just under Aunt Cindy +1. He carried no gift bag, only a small hand-bound book tied with string. "Hello, new ones," he said gently. Stepping inside, Natalie blinked. "Wait, Guru. I came not to celebrate the baby," he said, "but to hold space for the becoming." The party carried on games, cake, awkward laughter, but soon Natalie found herself sitting with the guru in the rocking chair in the nursery, surrounded by half-assembled furniture and unopened boxes. "This all feels bigger than I am," she admitted. "What if I'm not ready? What if I mess up?" The guru looked around the room, then at her. "You will mess up," he said. "But a baby doesn't need perfection. It needs presence." Eli poked his head in, holding 2 mugs of herbal tea. "Do I get to ask a question too?" The guru nodded. Eli sat down cross-legged on the floor. "Everyone keeps telling us what to do: sleep schedules, feeding tricks, books, apps, swaddles. But no one tells you how to stay calm when everything is new." The guru took a slow breath. "A baby hears the heartbeat first," he said. "Not the words, not the noise, just the rhythm. Keep yours steady, and theirs will follow." Natalie teared up, just a little. "I don't even know what kind of parent I'll be." "You don't have to know," he replied. "You only have to show up, moment by moment. Parenthood is not a performance, it's a practice." He handed her the little book. Inside were blank pages, except for a line on the first. "Write the lessons you learn after AM. They're usually the real ones." As the guru stood to leave, Natalie reached out. "Wait, before you go, what was your first moment as a parent like?" He paused at the doorway. "Quiet, terrifying, sacred, and over before I knew it." He smiled at them both. "Your child will teach you more than I ever could." Then he slipped back through the house past the balloons, the laughter, the leftover cupcakes, and into the afternoon light. Natalie turned to Eli, still holding the book. "Did that really just happen?" Eli sipped his tea. "Either that, or I brewed something really strong." They laughed, then sat together in the unfinished nursery, not ready, but willing. And somehow, that was enough. He gave no diapers, no toys, just stillness, and left the room softer than he found it. Chapter 6. In the ring, the opponent is not your enemy. Doubt is. Knock that down first. The boxing gym smelled like sweat, leather, and nervous energy. Fluorescent lights buzzed above the worn-out ring, where tape peeled from the ropes and old fight posters curled at the corners of the walls. In the corner sat Dre, gloves on, hoodie up, headphones in, staring straight ahead but hearing everything. The thump of gloves on bags, the murmured bets, the trainer barking last-minute reminders that sounded more like warnings. Tonight was his first pro fight. His team had already cleared the locker room, giving him focus time, but then the door opened again and in walked the guru. No robe this time, just a soft sweatshirt, sandals, and a small duffel bag. He looked wildly out of place and completely at ease. Dre narrowed his eyes. "You lost?" The guru shook his head. "No, just early. I don't do interviews. Press stuff's later." "I'm not press," said the guru, setting down his bag. "I came for the fight before the fight." Dre pulled off his headphones, finally curious. "What's that supposed to mean?" The guru sat on a bench opposite him. "You've been training for months. Punches, footwork, speed. But there's one opponent still in the ring with you." Dre crossed his arms. "You mean the other guy?" "No," said the guru. "I mean the voice in your head asking if you're ready." Dre didn't answer, but his jaw tightened. "I see him," the guru added. "That voice. He's fast, knows your weaknesses, has all your doubts memorized." Dre looked down. "Quiet now. He's been getting louder all day," he muttered. "Telling me I'm not enough, that I'll gas out, that the lights'll be too bright." The guru leaned forward. "Then knock him down first." Dre looked up. "That easy?" The guru smiled. "No, but it's the only real fight." They sat in silence as Dre wrapped his hands tighter, slower this time. Focused, grounded. After a few minutes, Dre asked, "You ever fight?" "I've wrestled with fear," the guru said. "It doesn't bleed, but it bruises just the same." Outside, the bell rang. Time to head to the ring. Dre stood, bounced on his toes, then paused. "Say something wise before I go," he said, half joking. The guru stood too, looked him in the eye. "Courage isn't loud, it's steady." "Be that." Dre nodded once and stepped through the doors, head high. Later, in the ring, under the lights, Dre fought hard, took hits, gave more, and in the fourth round, when his legs got heavy and the voice tried to creep in again, he remembered. Knock him down first, and he did, with a clean jab-cross combo that silenced both his opponent and the fear. The next day, Dre found the guru sitting alone in the gym, sipping tea out of a dented thermos. Dre dropped the fight tape on the bench beside him, "Thanks," he said. The guru didn't look up. "Thank yourself," he replied. "You showed up." Dre smiled. "You ever think of being a coach?" "I already am," the guru said. "I just coach souls." He didn't throw a punch, but still managed to knock something open in everyone watching. Chapter 7, The Movie Premiere. Fame is a shadow. The light is within. The red carpet stretched like a golden river beneath flashing cameras and screaming fans. Velvet ropes corralled the crowd, while glamour draped every inch of the scene, glittering gowns, tailored tuxedos, and a parade of flashes that made it feel like the sun itself had descended. The movie premiere for Starlight was a spectacle designed to dazzle the world, and every celebrity worth their salt was strutting down the carpet with practiced smiles. Among the crowd was the guru, wearing his signature robe, but tonight it was under a sharply tailored jacket. His sandals were replaced with well-worn loafers, and a small pair of round glasses perched on his nose. He didn't belong here, or so it seemed, but he moved through the throng with quiet purpose, unbothered by the chaos swirling around him. A young actress, Maya, was nervously adjusting her dress near the entrance. She was about to make her debut in a major role, and the flood of attention overwhelmed her. "I'm going to lose it," she whispered to her publicist, voice trembling. "What if I forget my lines? What if they hate me?" The guru overheard and approached, his presence like a soft shadow falling between the lights. "Excuse me," he said gently, "but may I offer a moment?" Maya blinked, startled, then nodded. He gestured toward a quieter corner, away from the flashing bulbs. "Fame," he said quietly, "is a shadow. The light is within." She looked up, confusion and hope mingling in her eyes. "People will see 1,000 versions of you tonight," he continued. "The one in magazines, the one on screens, the one whispered about in tabloids. But none of those are the true you." Maya exhaled, the weight in her chest easing slightly. "How do you keep that light alive?" she asked. The guru smiled. "By remembering who you are when the cameras are off." Backstage, the producer called out Maya's name. She hesitated. The guru put a hand lightly on her shoulder. "Step into the light, not for their eyes, but for yours." Maya squared her shoulders and walked out onto the stage, where the applause rose like a tide. Later, at the after-party, the guru found himself surrounded by people eager to capture his image. Phones pointed, selfies requested, compliments shouted over the music. Someone called out, "Guru, what's your secret? How do you stay so calm in the madness?" He paused, then said, "Fame is a shadow. The light is within." A young actor leaned in. "But isn't it lonely?" He shook his head gently. "Only if you chase the shadow." As the night deepened and the crowd thinned, the guru stepped onto a balcony overlooking the city lights. The noise faded. The flashbulbs dimmed. He closed his eyes and breathed in the quiet. In the distance, a street lamp flickered a single steady glow in the dark. That's where the light truly lives. The spotlight fades, but your true light never dims. Chapter 8, Heroes in Uniform. Some fight fire with water. Others fight fear with courage. The fire station's bay doors were open wide, letting in the late afternoon sun and the smell of soot and motor oil. Red fire trucks gleamed under the fluorescent lights, polished to a shine for the farewell party honoring Captain Luis Ortega, who was retiring after 25 years of service. The crew milled about in their uniforms, some freshly pressed, others worn soft with sweat and battle scars. There was laughter, shared memories, and the occasional toast to battles won and brothers and sisters lost. Luis, tall and steady, stood near the center, shaking hands, his eyes reflecting a mix of pride and something quieter, maybe relief. The guru arrived without announcement, stepping through the door with his calm gait. His robe was replaced by a simple jacket, but his sandals remained. Some firefighters glanced his way, recognizing him from past visits. Miguel, Luis's longtime partner, spotted him first. "Hey, guru. Didn't expect to see you here." "I wouldn't miss it," the guru replied with a nod. Luis came over, clapping the guru on the shoulder. "Good to see you, friend. Ready to say something wise?" The guru smiled softly. "Only to remind you what you already know." As the party quieted for a moment, the guru stepped forward. "Heroes," he began, voice steady, "are often painted as fearless." A few heads nodded. "But fear is the ember that keeps the fire alive," he continued. "Without it, courage is just noise." Luis raised an eyebrow. "So you're saying fear's good?" "In a way," said the guru. "Some fight fire with water. Others fight fear with courage." The room was silent, the words settling in. "Courage is not the absence of fear," the guru said. "It's the decision to move forward anyway. To answer the call when your heart pounds, your hands shake, and every instinct says run." Miguel looked at Luis. "That sounds about right." Luis took a deep breath. I've faced fires that threatened to take everything. But sometimes the hardest battle is inside. Later, Luis pulled the guru aside near the trucks. Tell me, how do you keep steady when the smoke's so thick you can't see? The guru looked out at the sunset, the sky burning gold and red. I don't pretend the smoke isn't there. I breathe through it. Trust the ground beneath my feet. And remember why I'm here. Luis nodded slowly. And that why? The people who need you, the guru said. That's where your courage lives. The farewell ended with hugs, handshakes, and the clinking of coffee mugs. As the firefighters filed out, the guru stayed behind, kneeling to trace a finger on the polished side of the truck. The roar of the city grew quiet in the distance. The fire station was a beacon, and so were these heroes who answered its call. He honored the flame, passed the torch, and left the room quietly glowing. Chapter 9. The ordinary sacred. Sometimes the most important place to be is simply here. The park was alive with the gentle hum of everyday life. Children's laughter bubbled from the playground as they chased each other under the watchful eyes of parents. Elderly couples strolled slowly along the winding paths, hands intertwined and faces weathered with time. Joggers passed by with steady rhythm, earbuds in, lost in their own worlds. In the middle of this vibrant quiet sat the guru. No fanfare, no grand entrance, just him, cross-legged on a weathered bench beneath an ancient oak tree. His robe was softened by years and dusted with the light of the afternoon sun. He watched. A young woman named Clara paused by the bench, her brow furrowed, clutching a thick book to her chest. She hesitated, then spoke softly. Excuse me, are you the guru? He opened his eyes slowly and smiled. Sometimes, he replied. Clara sat down beside him, sighing. I come here every day, but I feel like I'm always somewhere else in my head, thinking about work, deadlines, the future. How do you just be here? The guru looked up at the leaves swaying above them. Being here isn't about where you sit, he said. It's about where your mind rests. Clara bit her lip. I try, but my thoughts are like squirrels darting and chasing and never still. The guru chuckled softly. Ah, the squirrels of the mind, he said. When you watch them without chasing, they tire themselves out. When you chase, you lose yourself. Just then, an elderly man passed by with a slow, deliberate gait. He nodded to the guru. Good afternoon, friend. Good afternoon, the guru replied warmly. Clara watched the exchange with curiosity. Do you know everyone here? She asked. The guru's eyes twinkled. Not by name, but by presence. Clara frowned. What does that mean? Presence is the thread that weaves the ordinary into the sacred, the guru explained. These people, their stories, their laughter, their silence is all part of the same tapestry. Clara looked around, noticing the way a child helped his friend up after a fall, how an elderly couple shared a quiet smile, how the wind stirred the leaves into a soft dance, a breeze rustled the oak leaves overhead, and the guru closed his eyes for a moment. Sometimes the most important place to be is simply here, he said, voice like a whisper. Clara sat back, her shoulders relaxing for the first time in days. So, I don't need to run from my thoughts? I just watch? Yes, said the guru. Watch, listen, breathe. Let the ordinary be your meditation. Clara smiled softly, a new calm settling over her as the sun dipped lower, casting long shadows across the grass. The guru stood and stretched. It's time for me to walk, he said. Clara stood too, feeling lighter somehow. Thank you, she said, for reminding me that here is enough. The guru nodded. Here is always enough, and with that, he walked slowly down the path, blending into the rhythm of the park, part of the ordinary, yet quietly sacred. He came without a reason, and left behind a little more peace. Chapter 10. Return to the beach, to go somewhere and leave it better than before. Is the art of hanging well? The tide rolled in slow and steady, brushing the shoreline like a familiar greeting. The beach looked different than the last time the guru was here. New footprints pressed into the sand, a cluster of driftwood rearranged by recent storms, and the faint scent of salt mixed with blooming seaweed. The guru stood barefoot at the water's edge, his robe catching the breeze. His eyes scanned the horizon, calm and thoughtful. Mason was nearby, setting up a volleyball net for the reunion, now an annual tradition. He spotted the guru and waved. Look who's back, Mason called, jogging over. We didn't think you'd show. The guru smiled softly. I always return where the spirit calls, Mason nodded. The beach has changed a bit. New faces, new stories. The guru picked up a smooth shell, turning it over in his hand. Change is the tide's nature, but the shore holds the same heart. Nearby, Jess approached carrying a cooler. Hey, guru, we were just talking about you. Tell me, the guru said, curious. Jess laughed. Last year, you left us with those stones. Focus, presence, breath. They're still with us, Mason added. We put them in the lifeguard towers, in our bags. It feels like something more than tradition. The guru looked toward the towers, then back at the gathering crowd. To go somewhere and leave it better than before, he said quietly, is the art of hanging well. Jess tilted her head. How do you do that? Hang well, I mean. The guru stepped closer to the water, letting the waves lap at his feet. It's a simple practice, he said. See the world. Listen to the waves. Offer kindness. Leave no shadow where you've stood. As the sun dipped lower, Mason set the volleyball in the sand. Ready for a game? The guru hesitated, then smiled. I'll play, but only if you promise to listen between the serves. Laughter bubbled from the group as they formed teams. The game started with light-hearted chatter, quick serves, and cheers. Between volleys, the guru spoke softly to Mason. Life, like volleyball, is about balance, effort, and rest, reach, and return. Mason nodded thoughtfully, and knowing when to let the ball fall and when to catch it. Later, as dusk settled, the fire pit flickered to life. The group gathered close, warmth spreading like the evening's glow. Mason raised his cup. To the guru for coming back, for staying with us in spirit. Everyone echoed the toast. The guru looked around at the faces new and old, the laughter and stories mixing with the ocean breeze. Remember, he said, you don't need to move mountains to change the world. Sometimes the smallest kindness, the quietest presence, is the greatest gift. The crowd grew quiet, touched by the simplicity. As the night deepened and stars blanketed the sky, the guru stood again. Ready to leave, he picked up a smooth stone from the fire pit. This, he said, is for all of you. A reminder that no matter where you go, the light you carry can always return home. He smiled warmly. Mason grinned. You're like the tide, always coming back. The guru laughed softly. And always going forward. With that, he walked toward the water, the waves embracing him like an old friend. The beach was forever changed, and so were they. He sat. He smiled. And the tide carried his calm into every corner of the coast.